the truth of the matter is these people are going to commit these horrifying crimes, whether they have to use another weapon to do it with. They're going to figure out a way to do it.
I can't assure the American people there's any law we can pass to stop this shooting.
You know, inevitably, when there's a murder of this kind, you see politicians try to politicize it. You see Democrats and a lot of folks in the media whose immediate solution is to try to restrict the constitutional rights of law-abiding citizens.
The truth is that guns have always been readily available in this country. But mass shootings, and in particular mass shootings of schools, were non-existent or at least extremely rare until they became a grisly recent phenomenon. So what's changed in the last 50 years? There's been a noticeable breakdown of the family, there's been an erosion of faith, and there's been a seismic drop in social interactions in large measure due to the overuse of these dang smartphones and the proliferation of social media, which is probably better described as anti-social media.
And that is Republican Pat Fallon of Texas saying that the increased gun violence is because of the family breakdown, the dang use of cell phones, and the overuse of social media. And in case you don't know, or you don't know what a cell phone is, there was the congressman holding up his. Gee, thanks, Congressman. This Republican lunatic represents a very strongly Republican district that is northeast of Dallas, Texas, and his comments came at a hearing in which Republicans rejected every single Democratic proposal to restrict access to firearms. Raising the age from 18 to 21 to buy an AR-15? No, the Republicans are against that. Background checks? No, Republicans are against that. Red flag laws? No, forget about it. And at the same time, Republicans are rejecting anything to do with guns. They're blaming so many other things like the dang use of cell phones. But are they proposing something to, I don't know, change the impact of cell phones, if that's what they believe, or social media? No, they're not proposing any regulatory issues for social media or cell phones. This is all just hogwash for them. It's diverting attention away from guns so that they can protect the National Rifle Association and their other financial benefactors.
Governor Abbott, get this, he signed a law in Texas that says you can carry a gun with no training, no school, no certification, no licensing, no registration, nothing. I looked it up. To be a cosmetologist in Texas, Aaron, you have to have 1,500 hours of training.
Now, Congressman Pat Fallon is not the only Republican, of course, who's suggesting things we need to tackle in order to reduce gun violence, things that have nothing to do with guns, particularly in the wake of the Uvalde school shooting in Texas. There was Herschel Walker, Republican Senate candidate in Georgia. He said, what about getting a department that can look at young men, that's looking at women, that looking at social media?
Cain killed Abel, and that's the problem that we have. And I said, what we need to do is look into how we can stop those things. He talked about doing a disinformation. What about getting a department that can look at young men that's looking at women, that's looking at just social media? What about doing that, looking into things like that, and we can stop that way? But yet they want to just continue to talk about taking away your constitutional rights.
Can anybody follow what he's saying? Any idea what he's talking about? Some sort of department that follows young men who are following women on social media? How would that work? Other Republicans have suggested, oh, well, let's arm the teachers, or let's arm and train the school staff. Or one Republican suggested, how about we arm and train students? As if arming and training students and teachers and staff, that should be a priority when they're in an elementary school. And oh, by the way, if police are afraid to charge in when confronted by somebody with an AR-15 assault-style weapon, do we really have much confidence that teachers, students, staff are going to be able to defeat that situation? Of course not. That is not the issue. The issue is, how can we stop mentally ill young men in particular from getting access to assault-style rifles? This is not brain surgery. To be clear, the most consistent theme in mass shootings, particularly in schools over the past several years, has been an AR-15 assault-style weapon fired by somebody who's 18, 19, or 20 years old. Now, it's clear that Republicans are not going to support Democrats in any sort of restrictions, and Democrats do not have the 60 votes in the Senate to get something through that body under the normal procedure for legislation. However, there is something called reconciliation, where if it involves tax policy, you only need a majority, 51 votes. And a couple of Democrats have gotten together and say, okay, let's try to restrict access to some of these weapons by raising taxes on them and making the AR-15 face a tax of 10,000%. So a $500 rifle would suddenly cost $5,000, and that would price out particularly younger people who might want to get a weapon and go shoot up a school. It's an interesting proposal, a creative one, and in my view, Democrats ought to go for it, because they might, yes, be branded as tax-raising liberals, But the fact of the matter is this would reduce the availability of firearms, particularly rifles, for a lot of younger people who might be otherwise inclined to be able to get them. And it's certainly a hell of a lot easier to do this than to do something about those dang cell phones. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for watching. Tell me what you think in the comment section.